I can't figure out what that T-shirt said. Did it say anti-fragile? Is that what it said? I saw
I didn't see
fragile
it.
there.
Anti-fragile. That's
Looked
awesome.
Italian. Looked Italian to me. Fragile. Anti-fragile. The Detroit Lions. Anti-fragile, and I can't taste something underneath, something work. I don't know. Need to get one of those T-shirts just so I can read the damn thing. Look, the expectations are high for the Lions. They are the hunted for the first time that I can remember. I mean, they had some good seasons with Barry Sanders, but they never really had a great season. The farthest they went was the NFC Championship in 1991. Now, they're the team that a lot of people think is the Super Bowl favorite coming out of the NFC. They were up 17 points in the championship game in San Francisco, blew that. I'm probably going to pick them to go very deep into the postseason field again, but we'll see. Can they finish this climb? Do they have the personnel to get it done? And we're going to talk more about their quarterback, but the question is Jared Goff the guy who's going to make big throw in a big spot? We saw him not do that with the Rams in Super Bowl 53 when Brandon Cooks was wide open in the end zone. Oh. Will he make the throw when the opportunity comes, either in NFC Championship or Super Bowl, that gets them to their first Super Bowl win ever?
Look,
he's been everything that we hoped he would be, and then some. I mean, really, I think what he brought was, at the least, he brought just a stable piece for us, a steady, reliable guy who, behind center is going to do what we ask him to do, man. We take care of him. He'll take care of the football. He's going to move it. He'll be efficient, and he'll be our captain, and that's at the least. And what we got was so much more. So we got that, and through the years, these last 3 years, he's just continued to grow and gotten better and gotten better. And honestly, I think he just wants more, and he continues to challenge himself. And the more he does that, the more we load him up, the more we ask him to do, the more we put on his plate, because he can handle it and he wants it.
That's on me, Myles, by the way. What happens is we know the sound is coming, and the idiot, me, dances around it just enough to make somebody in the back room think I was calling for the sound. I didn't mean to, but it's on me for creating the impression that I was. So now that we've heard Dan Campbell talk about Jared Goff, I just wonder. He's got the money, and I'm surprised they paid him. I thought he fell into that category of guys, because we saw the Rams learn this the hard way in 2019. I thought he fell into the category of guys where the team's potentially going to say, nah, we're not doing it. We'll go find somebody else. They had Hendon Hooker on the roster, still do. They gave him the big money, and I don't know that I'm going to give the guy a market-level contract and just say, now I hope you perform better. I'm going to pay him based upon what I've already seen and whether or not I can project, with or without the money, to believe that he is going to take it to the next level.
Well, the thing that I think is the biggest deal of the entire Lions 2024 season is that they have Ben Johnson back as their offensive coordinator. And that continuity is really, really, really huge. I mean, for whatever reason, he wasn't interested in the job in Washington, decided that he wanted to have that unfinished business, right, with the Detroit Lions. And I think just the fact that that's the guy that Jared Goff has performed as well as he has, with him calling the plays, that's a really significant thing. So with Goff, like you brought up, the last time he got the big contract, did not necessarily perform as well as the Rams needed him to perform. They move on, they go get Matthew Stafford, and they win a Super Bowl. So look, Goff has done some really good things over the course of his career. I know that. But now it is a matter of saying, okay, let's take this thing to the next level. And, you say, oh, he can handle more. He wants to handle more. Well, he better be, right? Like, he's a number 1 overall pick, and he's in year 8 now. This is where the rubber has to meet the proverbial road, especially if we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. So I just feel like he can't be a passenger. He's got to really be driving this thing. And I think he has the ability to do that, but there are places where he's got to improve so that you don't see the limitations as much, because I think that was part of the issue in the second half against the 49ers. We saw the limitations with Goff, right? He's got to be able to sort of negate those in a way that, where the above the neck allows you to make the plays that you need to make that sometimes you may or may not have the physical traits or attributes that some other quarterbacks have. Like that's where your mindset, your mentality, your knowledge of defenses and different things like that has got to be able to take you over the top. And especially going into year 8, like I said, that's where Goff has to have the separation there.
You know, now you've got me running everything you say through the filter in my brain as to whether or not it's a Doobie Brothers reference. And, you know, you're talking about cars. I'm thinking, is this a Rockin' Down the Highway? Is he going with those lyrics?
Not
Like,
really.
where is this leading? But with Jared Goff, the question is, where
Fords.
does it ultimately lead? And it's been a great story to see the Rams basically attach a first-round pick to Jared Goff to get him out of their building. It was overlooked when the trade happened. Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, plus the Rams give up 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick. It was a 1 and a 3 for Stafford and a 1 to please take Jared Goff away. That's how badly he was rejected by the Rams. And they did it in a respectful way. It worked out perfectly. Brad Holmes had just become the GM of the Lions. He had been with the Rams. They worked it out. I remember Washington, former GM Martin Mayhew was upset they didn't get a chance to get Matthew Stafford. Guess what? Nobody was getting a chance to get Matthew Stafford. This is the way it was going to happen because it was the perfect way for the Rams to unload Jared Goff in the least offensive way possible. But he knows what they did. They know what they did, and he's been fueled by that. Oh, and he gets a shot at him right out of the gates this year. But this will be great to see if he can become a guy that we all kind of assumed he wasn't going to be. I, in 2019, was advocating publicly for the Rams to not sign him. That at some point we've got to end this notion that, hey, it's pass-fail. We drafted you, and you're on the pass side, so you become the highest-paid player in league history. At some point, that has to short circuit, and I thought it was going to with Goff then, and then I thought it was going to do it now. But maybe they do see something. Maybe they do believe another year with Ben Johnson. They can have him do more that won't overwhelm him, that won't cause him to hit a ceiling or just otherwise implode. But that's one of the great questions. Look, when you get to the best of the best teams, when you know Patrick Mahomes is lurking, or Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow, or Aaron Rodgers, you better have somebody who can step up and go toe-to-toe with one of the best quarterbacks in football because most of them are residing currently in the AFC.
Most of them are, but I mean, look, we were talking about Jordan Love earlier. Who's to say that Jordan Love's not one of those guys,
True.
and that's in their own division?
Yeah.
You know,
Good point.
So that's where that's where I'm like, that they got to play the Packers twice this year, and look, yeah, the Lions now are the ones that are hunted, but it's not like there are teams in their own division that aren't hunters. Like, and you could say Caleb Williams, he's a rookie, yeah, but that's another guy that you would think is going to be coming after you. So they're not that many great quarterbacks, let's say, in the NFC, but you got potentially 2 in your own division. Matthew Stafford, another one of those guys that's really, really darn good. And they got them week 1. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But like I said, if you're Jared Goff, you got to want more, and you should be able to handle more, and you got to continue to raise that level of play.
By the way, the T-shirt is anti-fragile. It takes more.
I like it.
Fun. I'll just say let's hope that the season goes better than the T-shirt slogan selection process. I've seen many a T-shirt slogan over the years. Anti-fragile, it takes more. What does that even mean? Isn't there a tougher way to put anti-fragile? Well, you know what? Don't be soft about the criticism of your crappy T-shirt slogan then. Anti-fragile stinks. And if you're not fragile, you'll accept it and come up with a better T-shirt slogan.
Okay, you have a chance to win $1 million in the NBC sweepstakes on Yahoo Fantasy. Just download the redesigned Yahoo Fantasy app or go to NBCSports.com/fantasymillion for additional details. What are you waiting for?
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.